to September 11th from Staples Center here in Los Angeles. Triller Fight Club presents Legends 2, a big night of boxing and entertainment. In our main event, it'll be the return of the Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya, going head-to-head against the former UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, the Phenom Vitor Belfort. Also that very evening, Anderson the Spider Silva, the former UFC middleweight champion of the world, will go head-to-head against the former UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, the Huntington Beach bad boy, Tito Ortiz. Also a part of that card, it'll be Andy Venced's matching up against Joan O'Carroll. And this one just got announced. It is known as Battle of Brothers. It features the former unified cruiserweight champion of the world and former heavyweight champion of the world. He's been away from the ring for over 3 years, but making his return to the squared circle, the Hayemaker, David Haye, will go head-to-head against the billionaire, the undefeated Joe Fournier. Now, we got something special for the British fight fans, as we will go live at 11 o'clock British Standard Time with a free view. Then at midnight, we go live with the pay-per-view with Triller Fight Club, and it'll start off with the fight featuring David Haye and Joe Fournier. Now let's meet the two men that'll be involved in this respective matchup. First of all, this man has an undefeated record of 9-0. He's coming off of a win over Reykon back on April 17th on the undercard of Jake Paul Ben Askren's victory. And you know what? This guy, he comes out to fight. He's in very good shape. Does he necessarily need to do this? No, but he wants to test himself. And lo and behold, he has a very tall task ahead of him on September 11th. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the billionaire, Joe Fournier. Joe.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for the incredible welcome.
Well, how you feeling, Joe? I mean, obviously this is something that, kind of got put together. We'll dive into the origins of it, but, how are you feeling? You're taking on your friend in David Haye. I don't know if you guys are friends or former friends, however that may go, but, what's your thought process heading into this fight against David Haye?
Well, I mean, it's a colossal challenge, but I got into the boxing for my own sake, for my mental health. I wasn't trying to kind of compete with anyone else but myself. And as it's gone on, I've got some accolades. I became WBA international champion, number 10 in the world. Before I took a small break from boxing, and then the blood started flowing when I came back last time. And I actually haven't stopped training since the Reykon fight. Relatively, in reflection, it was an easier fight, but I didn't want people to say I only take easy fights. So I've now upped it probably about 100 levels, and I've asked David to share the ring with me.
Well, let's meet the man that you're going to be standing across the ring from. I mean, when I look into this guy's career, he's one of the most celebrated British champions in recent memory, a 16-year professional career, a 28-4 record with 26 big wins coming by way of knockout. He and Evander Holyfield are the only undisputed cruiserweight champions, and also they would go on to become heavyweight champions of the world. Incidentally, he would capture the heavyweight championship of the world by beating a man in Nikolai Valuev, who was 11, almost a foot taller than him, and outweighed him by 100 pounds or more. This guy has thrilled fight fans all over the world. He's been away from the ring for over 3 years, and we welcome him back with open arms. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former undisputed cruiserweight champion and former heavyweight champion of the world from London, David the Hayemaker Haye. David, welcome back.
Thank you very much, and what a hell of an announcement you gave me there. It was amazing. Yeah, it's good to be getting back in the squared circle. I've been away for a long time, and when Joe, a good friend of mine, baited and put the challenge out there to me, I sort of dusted it off to start off with. I didn't believe he was really serious. I thought, surely not. But maybe the rounds that we sparred, maybe he sort of saw something there which gives him confidence. But as far as I'm concerned, this is I'm doing this for myself, and getting back into the gym every day, twice a day, watching the nutrition. I'm a healthy guy. I look after myself. between, ever since I retired from competitive boxing, you wouldn't be able to tell that I wasn't still actively boxing, as I'm, health and fitness and well-being is a big part of my life. So when this challenge was put to me by Joe, I felt ready. I felt good. I had, I lost my last 2 competitive boxing matches against Tony Bellew. My penultimate fight was, definitely hindered by a snapped Achilles tendon. I had to recover that before the rematch, and before that rematch, I snapped my left bicep, came off the bone, so I had to recover that before the fight. And then obviously when I'm in there taking the punches from the WBC cruiserweight champion, it felt as though my time was over. It felt like my time was gone, and I announced my retirement not long after that final bout of mine. But that was 3 years ago, and I've stayed away from the boxing elements of training. I'm in a gym, I do weight training, I do sprints, I do all the training except the punching side. And because I know my personality, I know once the juices start flowing, I start going. And this opportunity, strangely, has really got the juices flowing. I feel physically, very, very young. Going into my last 2 bouts against Tony Bellew, I feel I am in physically better condition. My Achilles is healed, my biceps healed. I can do the things in training I was avoiding doing back then. So unfortunately for Joe, I know he's banking on my body failing, but he's picked me at the wrong time. He should have picked me, a couple of months after my last defeat. It had much better chance back then.
Now, David, and I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to leave it up to David first, and then Joe, you can go ahead and piggyback off this. But the origins of this fight, it stemmed from when you guys were on the Greek island of Mykonos. You guys are hanging out, and a woman says, hey, could you fight him? I mean, can you kind of dive into detail? Because from what I gather, it stemmed from a woman who said, hey, who would win out of both of you? And then David, you kind of thought it was like, are you serious? And Joe said, well, I would beat him. And he didn't even think twice about that. So can you guys provide context about how this happened?
Well, first there was a bunch of people at dinner, and we're all friends. We're chopping up. We're having some fun, eating some food, having some drinks. And a girl, obviously, she's not a boxing fan, but she's aware that obviously Joe's a competitive boxer. Everybody knows that. I'm a former boxer who's now retired. This girl doesn't know me, but she's made aware. Oh, David used to box. So she just asked a reasonable question. Oh, who would win out of you two? We've seen similar sizes. And I said, out of respect, as he's an active boxer, I said, maybe a draw, maybe we'd be close. You're just trying to diffuse the question and move on. But Joe, obviously, a few tequilas, he's like, nah, not now. Maybe back in the day, yeah, but now it's my time now. I'm the active fighter. You're retired. Your legs snapped, your shoulders snapped. You right, today I win, but back then, I'm like, whoa, slow down, seriously. And that's where it started. And he even the next day when I said, dude, what's up with that? He was like, no, I would beat you. Just us two, no hype, no one else around. He went, no, seriously, I would beat you. So I then said, okay, before we were friends, before we get, before it gets a bit too spicy, let's go to the gym and put some sparring gloves, head guard. I'll show you exactly the levels of both of us. He's like, no, if I'm going to get in the ring with you, I'm going to get in the ring with you under the real lights with the fans watching. I want my kids to see what I'm going to do. And I was like, and then fast forward a few weeks, and here we are doing a press conference prior to the Staples Center where the Lakers play, Oscar De La Hoya, one of my all-time heroes. Triller, you've got Tito Ortiz, Anderson Silva, Vito Belfort. It's like, this is a crazy, impressive collection of musicians and fighters from boxing and mixed martial arts, all mixed together on one epic night. And myself and Joe are chucked in there as well. So it's, everything happens for a reason, and the stars and moon aligned where we had this bit of argument and there's this big mega event happening, and here we are. So it's given me the little boxing bug back. The training's gone very, very nice. And unfortunately for Joe, we've done some training sessions together. We played basketball together. Yeah, he can beat me at basketball. One-on-one basketball, he wins pretty easy. But this is boxing. I believe I win this fight very easy.
Joe, can you tell us when you went ahead and said, I would beat him, and then, that happened the night before, and then you doubled down on that essentially, and you go, no, I will really beat you. What came into your mind in the sense that, you guys are both competitive, you guys are both professional fighters, but, in terms of, doubling down on that prediction that you'd be able to beat the former cruiserweight heavyweight and the former heavyweight champion of the world in David Haye? You can unmute yourself, Joe. There you go.
Hey. So I'm a businessman, right? And if I find a depreciating asset, I snap it up and I use it to my advantage. I have a guy in front of me that has had probably more injuries than I've had relationships. And that's not saying much, actually. and then he, last time he won was 11 years ago, a world title. That's 11 years, a long time. He's in his 40s. I see the way he walks. He tells me this Achilles injury is gone in the past, but I've seen him walk. I was there. I was in the changing room when his Achilles had snapped, right? I'd seen the bicep come off. I've been in the ring sparring with him coming back from that. And I know the difference between when I sparred him before Belly 1 and I sparred him before Belly 2. It was two different people I was competing with. Now, fast forward, 4 more years go by. I stayed active. I'm still fighting. I'm still sparring, and he hasn't picked up a glove. Give him 4 weeks. For me, that's like, if you're all the boxing people out there, the time you win a championship or you win a big fight where you're the underdog is when the guys come off knockouts, right? So he's come off 2 knockouts, he's come off huge injuries, and he hasn't boxed in a while with very short notice to prepare. If I'm ever going to compete with a heavyweight world champion, this is the perfect scenario for me. So go back 15 years, am I going to fight David Haye at cruiserweight? Hell no. But as a businessman, say I wouldn't buy Manhattan real estate in the peak of it. But right now, I don't think he's at his peak. I see him on a huge slide and I'm on the way up and we're crossing paths. And, I know that his ego finds it hard because he's a champion. He's a trained killer. That's all he's ever done. Even in sparring, I'm watching, you see the videos of him sparring Deontay Wilder and he don't play. So you get in the ring, 30 seconds, he hits you with overhand right. I know that's what David does, right? And I can see a super aggressive David Haye, and I'm already aware. I know exactly what I'm getting into. But for me, this is going to be a relatively easy fight because, as Tony Bellew said it really clearly, David goes too tight. He's going to come out there, and he ain't going to play. Well, I know that, right? So if you know someone's strategy, it's easy to prepare for it. But can his body hold up for 8 rounds? Right? Can he stay there? Is that other bicep going to go? Is that other Achilles going to go? Because this is David. It's like you see him even walking around. He's got abs popping out of his ears. If this was a modeling contest, I'd have no chance. But it's a boxing show. And at the end of the day, he's on the slide. I'm on the way up and I'm going to shock the world. And no disrespect to his accolades. Don't get me wrong. I'll never achieve what David's achieved. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in this precise moment in time, I have the better hand. Same way if I have a full house and you got a pair of aces, at that moment, I'm a better poker player than you because I win that hand. And that's all it is.